It was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. The photos arrived 2 weeks after the wedding. Crisp golden hour shots of me laughing in my lace gown, my husband spinning me under fairy lights. But when I scrolled to the last image, my blood turned to ice. There, hidden in the shadows of our reception hall, was a figure. Hooded, face obscured, holding a camera aimed not at us, but at the emergency exit. My chest tightened. I recognized the stance, the grip on the lens. See our photographer, Elias. The first email came that night. You looked radiant in ivory. Shame what your groom's boss would think if he knew what you whispered to your sister during the champagne toast. Attached was an audio clip. My voice clear and venomous. If Mark finds out I lied about the promotion, he'll leave me. I hadn't even noticed Elias lingering by the dessert table, Mick hidden in his boutonniere. He demanded 10,000. A drop in the bucket for future CEO's wife, he wrote. I paid. Then came another email, a photo of my husband's apartment balcony, taken 3 nights prior. Next time, I'll catch you smoking again. How's that health kick going, Mark? Elias knew about the nicotine gum in my purse. The lies I'd spun to keep Mark from doubting my perfect resolve. The price doubled. I tried calling him, his website. Gone, the studio address led to a gutted warehouse. Panic clawed up my throat. How many lenses had watched us? How many moments had he staged? I combed through every wedding photo, zooming until my eyes burned. There, in the background of our first dance, Elias' reflection in a mirror, smirking as he angled a second camera toward my parents. My mother's hand clasped over her mouth, my father's face red with tears. Thea's secret, whatever it was, would be next. I tracked him to a rented cabin north of Mendocino, surrounded by redwoods that swallowed daylight. The door was unlocked. Inside, walls were plastered with wedding photos. Dozens of couples, their faces scratched out, replaced by newspaper clippings of divorces, scandals, bankruptcies. A shelf held hard drives labeled with initials and dates. Mine was already there. He returned at dusk, humming our first dance song. You're early, he said, as if I'd RSVP'd to a dinner party. I lunged for the hard drives, but he blocked me, his voice softening. You think I'm the villain? I'm the archivist. People hire me to capture their lies, then act shocked when I develop them. He stepped closer, lens cap clicking like a gun's safety. Your marriage is a museum of secrets. I'm just the curator. I swung a fire extinguisher at his head. He dodged, but the canister hit the shelf, spraying white fog. I grabbed our hard drive and ran, pine needles slashing my arms. Behind me, his laughter tangled with the trees. You'll be back. They always come back. The police found nothing at the cabin. No photos, no hard drives. Just an empty space that reeked of bleach. Elias vanished. For weeks, I jumped at every knock, deleted every unknown number. Then, on our 1-month anniversary, Mark brought home a gift, a framed photo of us cutting the cake. Anonymous delivery, he said. I waited until he fell asleep to smash the frame. Behind our smiling faces was a note, scrawled in familiar handwriting. P.S. Your father's mistress says hello. I still check every window, every mirror. I see Elias in the blur of a passerby's phone, in the glint of security cameras. Mark thinks I'm paranoid. But last night, I found a new email, no text, just a photo of our bedroom, taken from inside the closet, the timestamp. 5 minutes before I opened it. The money's gone. The secrets are peeling open, one by one, and somewhere in the dark, a shutter keeps clicking. The first message arrived 3 days after the wedding. I was scrubbing champagne stains from my dress when my phone buzzed. A photo of me and Ethan, his hands sliding too low on my back as we danced, his lips grazing my ear. The caption at 10,000, or your husband sees this. My stomach dropped. Ethan's brother, not some stranger. The photographer, Marcus, had lingered all day, his lens always a little too close, his smile a little too knowing. I deleted the message, blocked the number, told myself it was a prank. But then came the USB drive taped to our door. Dozens of photos, each more damning. Ethan laughing with his ex at the bar. Me slipping into an empty hallway with his brother. Innocent moments warped into secrets. Marcus knew how to frame a lie. His demands escalated: money, then more fake alibi. A lie to the police about his whereabouts the night a local girl vanished. I refused. So he leaked one photo, Ethan's brother and me, our faces smeared across gossip sites. A homewrecker, the comments hissed. Ethan's text turned cold. "We need to talk." I tracked Marcus to his studio, a converted warehouse on the outskirts of town. The air smelled of developer chemicals and mildew. His desk was cluttered with wedding albums, each couple's smiles frozen under plastic. I found invoices for clients I recognized, a mayor, a CEO, and a hidden folder labeled The Ability. Inside, photos of men in hotel rooms, women counting cash, a teenager burying something in the woods. Marcus wasn't just a blackmailer, he was a curator of ruin. The door creaked. He stood silhouetted, camera slung around his neck. "You shouldn't be here." His voice was calm, almost bored. I demanded the originals. He laughed, thumbing his camera's playback button, a video of me breaking into his desk. "No, you're a thief," he said. "What else will you become?" I lunged, knocking the camera away. We struggled, crashing into shelves. Chemicals splashed, stinging my eyes. He pinned me, his breath sore. "You're predictable, desperate. I've met 100 versions of you." He reached for a syringe on the desk. "But you'll be my favorite." I grabbed a photo cutter, slashed his arm. He howled, recoiling. I ran, his footsteps echoing as I stumbled into the night. The police didn't believe me. No evidence, they said. Marcus' studio was cleaned out by morning. Ethan filed for divorce. For weeks, I jumped at every knock. Then, a package arrived, a wedding album. Inside, photos of Meb bleeding in the studio, fleeing down darkened streets, sleeping in my car. The last page was a news clipping about the missing girl. Marcus' handwriting. "You're the monster now." I burned it, changed my name. Moved to a coastal town where the lighthouse beam cuts through the fog like a scythe. But tonight, as I unlock my door, I freeze. A faint click echoes, the sound of a shutter. Across the street, a shadow lifts a camera. The red light blinks, recording. I used to think fear was a hollow stomach, a racing heart. Now I know it's this, the certainty that somewhere, in someone's hands, a story is being twisted. And you'll never see the lens until it's too late. The morning after my wedding, the photographer sent a USB drive instead of the promised online gallery. For privacy, his email read. When I plugged it in, there were 2 folders, one labeled A Cherished Memories, the other as Secrets. My stomach dropped. Inside as Secrets were photos I didn't remember posing for. Shots of me slumped at the reception bar, eyes glassy, a half-empty pill bottle beside my champagne flute. Then a video. Me hours before the ceremony, arguing with my now husband's business partner in a dim hotel hallway. His hands on my shoulders, my tear-streaked face. The timestamp proved it wasn't infidelity. I'd confronted him about embezzling funds, but the angle made it look intimate. Damning, a new email popped up, 50,000. Or every guest gets a copy, you have 72 hours. I'd chosen Ethan Cole Photography for his moody, cinematic style, and his 30% last-minute booking discount. He'd been quiet during the wedding, lurking in corners like a shadow in his all-black attire. When I joked about his intensity, he'd smiled thinly. The best shots come when people forget they're being watched. Now I scoured his website, but it was gone. His listed address led to a vacant Brooklyn loft. Panic clawed up my throat. I couldn't tell my husband, not without explaining the pills, the breakdown I'd hidden for months. The second day, another email. "You're researching me, stop." Attached was a photo of me taken through our bedroom window morning, my robe half open. I ripped the curtains shut, my breath shallow. That night, I woke to the smell of smoke. Outside, a trash can blazed, our shredded wedding portrait strewn in the flames. A figure stood down the street, backlit by flickering orange. I sprinted barefoot, gravel biting my soles, but found only a disposable camera in the road. The developed photos showed me sleeping, my phone screen glowing with a drafted plea to the police. I hired a PA. Ethan Cole didn't exist. The man's real name was Marcus Veld, a former forensic photographer fired for tampering with evidence. "He's been sued twice for extortion," the PI said. "But he vanishes before trials, changes faces like socks." My bank account drained, I scraped together the Adarzib begging for mercy. Marcus's reply: "I don't want money anymore. I want you to suffer like she did." Rain lashed the windshield as I sped to the abandoned lighthouse he'd specified, my headlights carving through fog. The PI's last text echoed in my skull. His sister died of an overdose after her fiancé left her. He blamed the photographer who sold their fight photos to tabloids. The lighthouse door creaked open. Inside, Projectors hummed, casting my stolen moments on every wall. My vulnerabilities, fondi, looped, inescapable. Marcus emerged from shadows, camera clicking. Smile. This is your new reality. I lunged, knocking the camera into the sea below. He laughed, cold. The files are already set to release. But watching you unravel, his grin widened. Priceless. Desperation numbed me. I shoved him toward the crumbling ledge. For a heartbeat, he teetered, eyes wide, not with fear but triumph. Then he fell silently, swallowed by waves. The police called it self-defense. My husband held me at the funeral, whispering, "We'll rebuild." But that night, the secrets folder reappeared on our shared desktop. New photos, Marcus's body being pulled from the sea, my face in the crowd, edited to show me smiling. An email chime job. "You're just like me now." The files spread online within hours. My past, my lies, my violence. Now I see cameras everywhere. In the mail, drives arrive weekly. I don't open them. But last night, my phone buzzed with an unknown number. "Your turn to take the photos." EC. Outside, a flash lit the street.